And we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the final countdown. Steve and Seth McKinney are with us. Hello, friends.
What's going on?
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Good, man. How are we feeling about things? The last time we all spoke together after a road win was
some of us were very uncertain last week. But the road win, that was ages ago.
Who was uncertain about what?
I don't know, just a couple people in here.
What? Wait, whoa. I'm pretty sure I picked them to win.
Did you not pick them to cover?
I'm just joking.
No, I did.
I did too.
Well, you know what I didn't pick?
I picked them to barely cover.
I didn't pick them to come out and run for 300 plus yards.
You did?
I did not.
Oh, I was about to say.
But what I will say is that that display by the offensive line and the running backs and the quarterback was something I haven't seen out of A&M since probably back in the late 90s, early 2000s when we used to run the ball like that. Because those guys, you could tell they went down there on a mission. That was a business trip. Those boys came out ready to play. Were coming off the ball, finishing. I think they just all fed off each other. The backs were just getting 3 or 4 yards after contact. The line was just blowing guys, giving the backs at least 3 yards every run play.
Yeah. To me, that's the biggest development of the year so far.
What's different about it? Like, why is it working?
I don't know what to tell you other than they're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean,
mindset. Yeah. That's why it worked, is because you could see it in their attitude when they stepped onto the field.
What do you think of him, Armaj Reed Adams going full WWE?
Is that his personal? I hope it's an A&M chair. You just every road game.
I don't care. I hope it's
a
road team's chair. Oh, you're saying so he has one every time?
Yeah. Let's just do that at home games. Let's do that.
It might become his thing.
Let's smash some chairs coming out of the locker room.
So you're seeing a whole different mentality in that group.
That was. Hey, we got our backup quarterback in. We haven't won a road game in 2 years. We're going to go out here in the offensive line, guys. We're going to win this game up front. We're going to dominate the line of scrimmage and take it to them from play one to the very end, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I for one was sitting there in the second, third quarter waiting for it to just all fall apart because I got battered ag syndrome. From the UCLA game still.
Screw that.
I've got proof on my phone. We can dial that up for the video.
Was that the group text I told y'all to drop me from?
No. What's frustrating for me is that I'm sitting there watching the game and we're completely dominating them, right? From offense and defense. And we're only up like 13 points. And I'm going, this is barely a 2-score game. Like this could blow up real quick. And then you miss the 2 field goals, and so those kind of little things make you nervous to where, like, hey, if we're playing a good team, this is the kind of stuff that gets you beat.
Yeah.
Luckily, that didn't happen, and that doesn't take away from what the offense did and what the defense did to hold on to the lead.
I think that's just part of the learning.
We got to clean that up.
I think that's part of the learning curve. I saw somebody trying to push a narrative that was kind of a thing. Oh, they're fading late. They faded late against Notre Dame because they were essentially like 3 and out throughout the whole game, and the defense finally cracked. You're an ass. You're an ass if you think they faded late against McNeese State by giving up late points. It was literally a combination of your second, third, and
look where you were. I don't care about, like, you can say that they're having a down year. You're still facing SEC talent. You're still facing an SEC opponent on the road at the Swamp. It's not like that's an easy place to go and play. The weather, there were a lot of ways you could go down this, and to have us come out the way we did, starting fast,
I actually have 0 complaints about anything about that football game. Now, if you want to nitpick and go, okay, what are you encouraged by? Like, what any concerns coming out of that? That's different than having a complaint.
Right. Yeah.
0 complaints about anything about how that game went.
No.
Of course, you'd have loved for them to take 33-7 and turn it to 40-7. But I think this is a team that's just grown each week, and they're learning. And those type things are, typically there was a letdown there.
Yeah.
And the missed. So my concerns are 2 missed field goals. Bond's missed field goals in his career. He's been far from perfect. I think he's a good kicker.
But he does seem to come through when you need him. Like, it seems like the field goals he misses are the ones that we've got a big lead or something.
It feels like the ones that he misses are the ones where you're like, oh, that could
That could hurt us.
Damn, you needed that one. You know, but yeah, when it's like important, like I could have done without the 2 40-yard misses to end the game. I think it's a little too much cream. I could have done.
Nice try.
Beyonce.
There were open receivers, and I think more so than we'd seen, and that was the first team that tested them passing. We said that before the game, and what happened? They put the quarterback more in harm's way. You saw A&M pressure the quarterback more. Mm-hmm. But they did find openings in that defense, and I think what was happening, actually, I think they weren't positive that Eugene Wilson, who's a stud receiver for them, really, really good, weren't positive he wasn't going to go. And they did a little more zone, if you watch that game, than we've seen so far through 2 games. And you also, so let's say that was kind of your game plan. You also lost Tyreek Chappelle, your nickel, midweek.
Yeah.
Who's a stud at that spot for you. So you're going more zone. Midweek, you lose your nickel.
Yeah, and also we lost a guy doing a weird ejection. But
and then you lost Dalton Brooks again to an ejection. So
can we talk about these freaking targeting calls?
Well, it's all it is to protect the play. Like, look, if you're going to call, like the first one, if you call the first one, you definitely got to call the second one.
That's true. I said that when it happened. I said, well, it doesn't matter at this point. They're ejecting.
I agree, but the first call was just complete ridiculousness, dude. Are we kidding? Are we kidding ourselves now? This is what football has come to. We're throwing guys out for hitting guys in the butt with their helmet. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, I mean, look, it was like
maybe
said,
people need to start wearing their butt pads again. Did y'all play when there was butt pads?
Oh, yeah.
You already done.
7th grade, baby.
Nice set. Butt pads.
But Billy, getting back to your point about concerns,
now they don't even wear pants. It's like shorts.
Honestly, the only concern I really had, we missed. There was a couple open receivers. At the end of the day, he made the throws he needed to make. We ran the ball the way we needed to run it to win the game. I'd need to see him finish more of those drives into the red zone. Mm-hmm. We go in there 6 times. We get a couple touchdowns. Give me one of those field goals. Make that a touchdown. You know, we can't go 4 for 6 kicking field goals. Yeah, we got to learn to finish drives a little bit better to beat the teams that we got on our schedule moving forward.
You went down against Notre Dame and had to settle for 2 early field goals.
So, just finishing those drives, we got to get more touchdowns in the red zone.
I'll tell you what we had this game that we didn't have against Notre Dame was just big plays, just right and left. Yep. And that was a beautiful development. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a game just full of big plays. And that was awesome to see as a fan. And then there's someone that just helps your offense. It loosens things up so much. To be able to operate.
What do you think was the key to that? Do you think it was Marcel or was it?
Well, I'm not over here trying to argue one way or the other, but I can tell you this: Marcel played a great game. All right, It started with the 3rd play of the game, him seeing that free, blitzer coming, the safety, and reacting the way that he did. And you're like, wow, that was very impressive. I'm not sure it could happen otherwise. And then it happened at other points in the game, and then he made other great decisions. And I'm not saying he played the perfect game, but he had a tremendous game, and I don't know anything about what's happening right now, about what's going to roll out there, but I can just tell you this about him.
I'm sure you've got some kind of...
I got my hope. I got my personal hope.
Whoever this mystery guy is that keeps telling him bad information.
He played great.
Well, I'll just say that, what Marcel did is he opened up a dimension of our offense that we haven't seen.
Exactly.
Billy.
I'm laughing at his mystery source. I just want to we're making him so nervous right now.
I know.
Because the mystery source is listening. He's like, God,
we know who you are, buddy.
Don't out me.
But you know what he did is Marcel opened up a dimension of our offense that we didn't have. And that is the threat of the quarterback keeping the ball and being effective, getting down the field.
Wait till Colin Klein starts implementing more. And we saw couple of them, obviously, but wait till he starts implementing more too of the
play action,
the designed run, play action with it. But the designed QB run where you're freezing up defenders. Marcel said that was his favorite play of the game. Was the QB run down by the goal line where I think he scored. Mm-hmm. They said he didn't, and then he sneaked, the quarterback sneak on the next play.
Yeah.
But he said that was actually his favorite play of the game, just by the way they executed.
Was it? I'll tell you, my favorite play of the game was that 4th quarter juke he made, where the guy just eats it, and then tries to get up and
he's
just
like
falls
doing like
and
a bear
crawls.
crawl.
That was good.
There was nothing better.
I would say my favorite part of the play, favorite play of the game was the first big run he had in the first drive.
That was huge.
That was one where you're setting back. It's a drop back.
Right.
And instead of throwing incompletion, nobody's open, the guy takes off and runs for 50 yards.
Yeah.
That's something we haven't really seen since Johnny was here.
Yeah, I know.
And that makes a big difference in the college football, high school football. When you got a dual threat quarterback that can get that kind of yardage.
It cures a lot of mistakes.
Man.
Having that ability.
So you said, like, we talked about it this week, like, if he doesn't have that vision and that reaction that you can't coach and you just, okay, free blitzer, middle of the field's open, I'm gone. That was 2nd and 21. So it's going to be like 3rd and 30. You're going to run a draw. You're going to punt it on 4th and 22. And they're going to have good field position to start the game. And that crowd was loud as hell. Mm-hmm. Maybe they go up 3 or 7-0. It changed. That little
it was
deal
huge.
can change things. But you said the big plays, and I totally agree. Other thing I like, guys, were the little plays.
Yeah.
Run on 4th and 1. Get it. Coming off your own goal line, 2nd and 9 or whatever. Le'Veon Moss for like 21 yards.
Yeah.
Another play down in that end, and Le'Veon goes for like 27. The scramble we talked about there. The 3rd down later in that drive where he cuts out to his right and he's scrambling. Looks like he might take off for a few yards. He sees Trey Watson coming across the middle. Kind of fires it across his body to a wide open guy.
Nice.
Good catch. Like, it was the little plays, too, that A&M seemingly made every one of them, whereas Florida made very few to none.
Agreed,
And that, to me, is the difference in a close game.
And our defense did a great job of shutting them down, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime it's – sorry, Nunez.
Sorry. I'm here. I just want to make sure everybody knows here.
David Nunez. David Nunez. Hey, guys. Would you like to drink out of the Herman Melville glass?
No.
If he didn't know who Herman Melville was, Seth.
Yeah, Moby Dick.
You didn't know that? Come on.
I don't know stuff. I really don't know stuff. I don't.
Billy's a big Nantucket guy.
Big guy.
This was within the last 2 years, right?
And like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
A month ago. Remember, that was the one where I can't believe he missed the first practice.
Oh, yeah.
Never would have done that in the past. Even though there's 30 of them, he was out there for the other 29.
Who's that, Hunter?
It's just.
But he did. That was his voice. That was Billy's voice for him.
Funny is Hunter's emails sound like that too. He'll be like,
how you read 'em?
"Man, because it's all caps. It'll be normal, and man, we've got to get this figured out. Time is up," and it's all caps. And it's like, there was a point where I on the reply said, "Hey, if you all cap in any email ever again, I'm not reading it." So. But anyway, we're talking about the little plays versus the big plays, and I don't even know what we're talking about now at this point.
I'll just transition to talking about little plays.
The defense.
Well, no, before we go to defense.
Anytime it's the fourth quarter and you have scored as many points as you've given up, you're having a pretty damn good day. So when that game was 33-7. After Bryce Anderson took back the pick six,
it was over.
And you look up and you go, okay, they've given up one touchdown, they've scored one.
That was impressive. But what I was going to say is that, really what excited me about that game was the level of intensity the backs were running with.
Yeah.
Especially because I as an offensive lineman, Seth, and when your back's running that hard, breaking tackles, picking up that extra 3 or 4 yards, or like the one coming off the goal line where he broke like 3 tackles and ran for like 20-something yards, that makes you as an offensive lineman want to play even harder.
Yeah.
And it just kind of all kind of built up into this unstoppable run game that we had the whole game, just because of that type of effort out of your backs.
And our running backs are being coached up. Somebody's doing a really great job over there. The running back coach of telling them to hug the blockers, dude. I mean, these guys are hitting gaps. You're like, ooh, that's impressive, man. That was it looks like a risky choice, but he's just hugging a block and getting that extra 3-4 yards by being so tight to his blockers and following that hole. I mean, it's really impressive what they've been able to do. Just speaking of the backs, much less the offensive.
And that run by E.J. Smith where he just that
was great, dude.
400-pounder.
That was like a business decision was made.
The best thing I've ever seen.
Good business.
He
picked up the first down about and EJ in the last. Well, he didn't play against McNeese, but against Notre Dame and in this one, he's flashed some good runs, and then I love the consistency of Amari Daniels.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just Le'Veon. I had a random thing pop into my head just now when you're talking. I have no idea the answer. I know one of yours. Who's the best running back or two you ever blocked for? And then I'm going to ask Seth.
The best running back? Oh, Edgerrin James.
Yeah. Is there, I knew that, and then is there a second one?
Probably Marshall Faulk.
Well, yeah. When was that? In Indy?
He played with some great ones.
At the very end?
First year in Indianapolis.
Like the end of Faulk's career? Or
no, the end before he went to St.
Rams.
Louis.
Oh, yeah, he was Rams after.
Yeah, but no, I'll tell you this. Edgerrin, when he came in, he held out his rookie year for like 3 games. So the first 3 preseason games, and we're not running the ball worth of crap. All of a sudden we signed him, and our offensive line just turned great overnight. Like the next game, we're running all over the place. It's like a really good running back will make your offensive line look really good, and vice versa.
I think Le'Veon Moss is in that.
Can make your offensive line look really bad. Yeah. But I agree. I mean, I think our backs looked really good Saturday. I hope that continues, because if we're able to just run the ball half as good as that every week, we're going to be a really good offense.
And the passing game will come.
It'll come when we need it.
What about you in running backs?
Ricky Williams and Jamal Lewis.
Oh, that's right. Ricky. Golly,
couple of good ones.
Ricky wasn't in 2000.
Also, I'm losing my mind. Marshawn Lynch in Buffalo had a great year that year.
God dang.
You had some guys.
Y'all between y'all, what, 5 Hall of Fame? Well, Ricky, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not Ricky.
But he's a 10,000-yard back, believe it or not.
Ricky was legit. I mean,
probably deserved.
He had his own career stoppers by his own choosing, but he was excellent, man. I mean, it's just like.
I mean, you saw that when y'all played him. 98.
Yeah. So not a commentary.
Seth trying to tackle him on that. Like guys from the offense came out there.
Thanks to me.
Tackle him.
Not a commentary on Marcel, but the way A&M played against Florida. Do they win the Notre Dame game? That game plan. Not necessarily about Marcel, just overall.
For sure. Exactly. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it.
Our offense puttered so bad.
It was bad. I mean, it was awful.
And look, Connor had a terrible game in that one.
And he admitted it.
But I also think where this O-line is, even 3 weeks in, is at a different place than it was in that game. I think that game was kind of a confidence builder for the O-line to say, hey, we held our own against. All we heard about is how good this defense was.
Like they didn't know that they could be good. You can be good. It was like you had to psychologically go in there and coach them. Like you are good. Now just go perform.
Seth, how about the fact that Coley went down at center?
Yeah.
And he's fine. That wasn't a long-term thing, but he was lost in that game. You had Fathery, you were kind of rotating him and Crownover. So I look up at one point, and you go, okay, we got 2 backup O-linemen in there. And there's that depth I talked about all offseason. I said, look, I'm not saying it's Hall of Fame depth. You don't have all SEC guys on the bench. I don't know how many teams do. Maybe somewhere along the way Bama and Georgia did. But you've got real depth, and it's showing now, or even early in the season. But what did you think of the job TJ Shanahan did to come in? Essentially 2 weeks ago, he's your 3rd string center, and then you got the fellow Westlake product. Because I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah. No, he did. I thought that he played well, and it was nice to see. I think he got in there. He got in against Notre Dame some as well. Mm-hmm. And then
to see him out there Coley against, too,
and to see him out there against Florida again. I mean, he's doing a great job, and it seemed like a seamless transition to me. And anytime you can look up and, just like you said, see the people on the field and know that they're not your usual guys and they're operating like your usual guys, that just speaks volumes of the depth again. Yeah. And to be able to not have issues is huge, man. I mean, because it's football, dude. Things happen no matter what, even if they are just like what you said, it's a 1-game deal. He's going to be fine this week. Those kind of things pop up, man.
Yeah.
And to have guys that can step up and do the job that's needed is just huge.
Break.
Dude, I love it.
Little break here.
He's just giving
We're
you
only
so
3 minutes
much.
late. Bird dog time.
bad.
No, it's not bad at all. But I just know if you started a new thought, that's 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Yeah.
Bird dog, Aggie owned
I
and
was about to
operated.
go right into the whole defense at that point.
All right, defense next segment. That's coming up next. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We are going to talk some defense in a moment, but you had something you wanted to talk about that was a little bit out of left field, if you will.
Yeah, I said we're witnessing greatness in Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
That's like one of Steve's favorite fighters, I think.
Yeah, what?
I didn't know who it was. I'm like, who is this
So
guy?
have you looked him
How'd
up
you-
during
how'd
the
you
break?
No, I didn't look him up. Is
So
he a
you
boxer
still-
or MMA?
He's a boxer, obviously
Why
from
do I care
Asia.
why do I care about that?
I love boxing.
Because
should I
he's
care?
one of the
Because
greatest
he
of all
just
time.
his record right now, they're starting to compare him to Floyd Mayweather and Tyson and
if he learns how to play linebacker, call me. I'll be interested.
He might be able to.
he might. He's like 6'4", 240.
Dang, he's a boxer?
Yeah.
That's a big dude.
He's a
man.
big dude.
He's fast.
But they say they're act literally like the guy if he wanted to could play baseball.
and be one of the greatest of all time.
If he wanted to do that.
They're like he could be better than Barry Bonds if he chose to do
And
that.
Babe Ruth.
He's
apparently.
Korean or what is he?
Japanese.
Japanese.
Japanese,
Then we all
yeah.
pause for a moment.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
doesn't matter. I mean, he's Japanese.
He kind of reminds me of the great Cuban baseball player from 1988 who did 40-40, Jose Canseco. Same kind of build.
Same kind of build, but I think I'm never going to assume anybody's natural anymore in sports. I think they are, but Ohtani's a baseball player, Steve.
And he's one of the
For God's
greatest
sake,
ever.
dude.
And one of the greatest ever.
This guy's
He's a
like,
boxer?
you're
Oh
the
my
only
goodness.
person.
Possibly the greatest
Oh,
ever.
y'all
dude. It's
suck
like
so
crazy.
So
bad.
remember when we were kids, there was the 30-30 club.
Yeah.
And like
then we got
Daryl
the
Strawberry
44.
and
Yes,
Canseco. And then they
I
went to
remember that.
40-40 and it was like Canseco.
What is this guy, like
Maybe
50-50
Griffith.
or
He just
something?
did
Yeah, he
First
just
person
did
to
it
do
last
50-50.
night. It was
Okay,
crazy.
sorry.
And the game that he
Follow
did
baseball
it in, he
all
had
the time.
6 hits, 10 ribbies.
In one game, so I'm at lunch 2 days ago.
Oh, and he
with Zane.
pitches too.
Oh,
He
yeah,
also-
we're neglecting
He also is like a
this.
top 3
And let me
Cy
guess, he
Young
makes
guy.
like $200 million a year.
Pretty much.
I mean, good
basically.
Lord.
But he deserves it.
But I love talking to somebody that's literally never heard of Shohei. So cool. Like, who knew you were going to be able to do that?
They're on
today?
Melville. This is like that.
Yeah. Nuno doesn't know who Melville is. He doesn't know who. Nuno doesn't know Moby Dick. Steve doesn't know Shohei. So
I feel well-rounded now.
this guy yesterday needed 2 home runs and 2 steals. There's like 8 games left. I'm at lunch with Zane yet the day before, 24 hours before. He's the biggest Dodger fan, and you know how he'll just kind of just expertise you and just. I worry about he'll get the 50 home runs. I worry about the steals. I just don't think the rate he's going, he won't be on base enough. It's either a home run or an out. He's not hitting singles right now. I'm concerned about the 2 steals. Later that day, gets 1 steal. Literally 24 hours later, gets the 2nd steal. Then home run.
Wow.
So in that same game, Steve, 6 hits, 2 home runs to tie the record.
He had 6 hits in one game?
2 home runs to break the Dodgers all-time record, get in the 50-50, then stole the 50th base, all in the same game. 6
Wow.
hits, 10 RBIs.
But same game, he got the 51-51 in that game.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever done that.
No, not touched it.
It's not. I'm going to take it back to A&M now. It's like Ricky Williams running all over Seth to get the break Rondain's record.
Right.
Hey, I played a mean nose guard. I don't know if y'all kept up with that.
And it's like Travion.
It's like running for 300 yards against Florida and McNeese State.
No, it's like Travion Williams.
Nice try.
It's like Travion Williams breaking that single-season yardage record in the bowl game against NC State where he went like 94 yards to break the record on steroids. No pun intended. I mean, it's like it's on steroids.
Okay, so who does he play for? The Dodgers?
Dodgers.
Okay. I'll look him up, check him out.
Well, I wanted to talk defense, but the segment's over. So,
That was good. It was a good
it was a good
segment.
run. It was a great run, guys.
Here's what I was going to say.
We talked baseball
What I was
instead,
going to say
apparently.
about the defense real quick before you desegment us, and we'll go back because we have 30 minutes to go. There's a guy I wanted to mention when we come back who no one really talks about, and I'm like,
Just mention him now.
Javon Thomas.
Okay, mentioned.
One of the, I like to go back and say, hey, if you listen to all this stuff during the camp, you knew about this football team. And the only thing so far that we didn't hit right, or that I didn't hit right, if you took everything I said, was Connor. And he's really played one game. So who knows? And it might end up being Marcel, for the duration. We'll see. But everything else, and Javon Thomas kept hanging around in that starting lineup. But I definitely know, we were reporting Javon out there with the ones throughout. But I know I was talking more about these transfers coming in. You had Will Lee, who's been really good. You had Des Ricks, who's looked good when he's out there. And you had B.J. Mays, who I think you'll start to see more of. I think you'll see him start to maybe get looks at that nickel with Chappelle out. But Javon Thomas has held on to the starting job 3 games in. He was thrown into the fire last year as a true freshman and wasn't ready. He's ready now. And he had the game-icing pick the other day. I just think he's playing really well, and credit him, because I like a dude that just doesn't want to give up a spot and says, man, you know what, then I'm just going to get better. And he's a gifted athlete. So anyway, love what they've got at corner just across the board right now.
Depth, finally.
Yep.
TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelry. I don't know why I said that. Here in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
That was great.
That was like really intense.
I like it. Yes.
Some serious energy.
I'm into it. Are we done with the defensive thought? Can we move on to a couple of the segments that we have sponsored here?
Sure.
All right. It's time now for, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wait for it, the Freak of the Week.
It's the Freak of the Week. Seth.
Please,
well,
more energy,
I
bud.
I don't know anything.
By the way, I think I nailed
Let's
it
just
last
pretend
week.
that
Marcel.
it's Marcel Reed, all right? I'm picking Marcel Reed to have a great game. We need him to be the guy that he was last week. He had a tremendous game, and then I guess the only thing you could say was just bump that completion percentage up a little bit, and boom. Definite earned the Freak of the Week last week.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll do the same this week.
I like it.
I'm going to go with Cassius Howell,
Oh, wow.
a Bowling Green transfer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Led the
Nice,
MAC
Steve.
in sacks last season.
Nice.
Well, he did his research.
Got one. Almost got a couple last week.
He almost did. He's actually flashed quite a few times, and I think he's somebody's name who we're going to start hearing called quite a bit moving forward, because between him and Kennedy, we got a couple of freaks on the outside. I think both of those guys, if we can find ways to get them on the field together in passing situations, be pretty
Pretty
tough.
distracting over there.
Sorry.
I'd say.
My sign guy's calling me.
Billy?
Well, since I like to do 2 of them, I'm going to go on defense. I think this is a Nick Scorton breakout game.
Nice.
I think Nick Scorton goes out and wreaks havoc against an offense that's going to try to move look, they do move the ball, and they do have, look at Connor Bazelak. They're going to throw it around. He's got a couple of receivers I think are pretty good. He's got a terrific, when I say terrific, I love that tight end.
He's great.
He's like a pass catcher and way more than a blocker, but right now 17 for 204 and a touchdown. He looks like a pro. So I'm going to go, they're going to try to throw it because they're going to have to. And I think Nick Scorton has himself a day. I think it's the breakout performance for him, his first takeover kind of showing in maroon and white. I thought he had some really nice plays against Florida that didn't show up as much on the, he didn't get any sacks, but I think he's going to break out. And then on offense, man, look, when the one thing Bowling Green has done, we talk about all the good, they got so many veterans, and that scares you, okay? A veteran, I call it like a mid-major, what we're talking about here, but loaded with veterans and an experienced QB, and they're very well coached, and they were down 14-6 at halftime last year against Michigan, who won the national title. They were up. They lost by 7 this year at Penn State a couple weeks ago. By 7, right? Yeah. 34-27. They put up 27 on the Nittany Lions. Oosh. It's not an easy game. It's actually far from an easy game. And
however,
but
we're picked to win by 22.5.
Well, part of
How's that?
Part of that, Steve, is going to be because defensively, their rushing yards allowed per game right now through 2 games, including a game against Fordham. Do you know where Fordham is?
I'm going to guess Virginia.
Do you know where Fordham is?
I'm going to guess New Jersey.
Do you know where Fordham is?
Nantucket.
Do you know where Fordham is? Seth was the closest. I believe it's in the Bronx. It is in the Bronx. So, anywho, they give up 200-plus yards rushing a game, and that's with one of their 2 games against Fordham. So either, and I know this isn't true, but either Penn State ran for 400 and Fordham ran for none, or they both ran for a lot of yards on Bowling Green. So with that said, give me number 8, Le'Veon Moss.
There we go.
Le'Veon Moss. All right, time for the sleeper of the week. That is presented by the Sleep Station. Go see Jared McLeod and ask about the Tempur-Pedic or the Purple mattress in the Specs parking lot at Texas and Harvey and in front of the Lowe's at William D. Fitch on Highway 6. The website is thesleepstation.com. Steve, you start us off.
Dang it. All right.
I'll go.
Okay,
I'm ready.
I was just going to look up the name of the guy. I couldn't remember his name.
I'll go with it. I'm going to go with Trey Watson. I'd love him to have a bigger presence in the offense. I know it was last week was a great kind of a breakout game for him, and he was where he needed to be, and hopefully he can be that force this week.
I can't find his name. It's not on this sheet. He's number 1, Jabari
Barber.
Yeah,
Jabari Barber.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
That's
shown
a
a few
good sleeper
flashes.
pick.
Hey, I
That's a good
was so
sleeper
happy
pick,
to see him
Steve.
out
Come
there,
on.
by
Let's
the
go.
way.
Not
That
with
is
the
a good
hand you
pick.
just picked your nose with that one.
It was a white, by the way. No, I don't know. He's flashed a few times, but we haven't seen him like really kind of take over a game because he's kind of getting back
that was
healthy,
his first game, right? Last week?
Okay.
He was in there for a few snaps.
Yeah,
I think,
against McNeese.
But not,
Okay.
I mean, I feel like he's shown some flashes to where, like, dude, this guy's going to he's going to have this big game at some point, you know. I'm thinking it could be this week.
a good sleep.
I hope they make a video of you wiping her nose and then hand high-fiving.
I was kidding. It was a wipe. It wasn't a pick. It wasn't a pick. I'm not going to say it. I worry driving, with people with camera phones now that one of my irrational fears is getting on video and picking your nose at a red light.
The side scratch.
Yeah, exactly
Like
like
Liucci
Seinfeld.
picking his nose at the light.
Exactly like Seinfeld. It was, what did he say? It was a wipe. My sleeper of the week is going to be, I was going to go keep it in the running back family and go E.J. Smith, but what I'm going to do instead.
That's a great move.
You see how I kind
That's
of
awesome.
picked 2?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm actually, and I don't know which one I picked Bryce Anderson to be last week, but I might think I may have called for a pick 6. I might have. We might need to check
checkers,
the tape.
please.
Oh, yes.
We might need to check the tape. I might have called for it, but I'm going to go with, he's not a sleeper because of the, I got something.
It's all right. I've done this.
Terry Bussey.
I like it.
Yeah, I think Terry Bussey could, he had the 63-yard, whatever it was, touchdown run against McNeese. But I think Terry Bussey could put up some nice numbers against this defense as a runner, in that whole motion game.
Yeah.
And I think this could be a game where you see 2 or 3 nice runs by Bussey.
Okay. Nice job. We're on time. How about that? We can do our pick 6 on the other side.
Thank you, Proctor.
Thank you very much. Prize Picks is going to bring us that. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with our pick 6. All right, we're back. It's time to end the day with Double Dave's. Caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. Serving Aggieland since 1984, they have your favorite pizza and your favorite world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. Pick 6 time, presented by Prize
Steve,
Picks.
you don't know. Go ahead, sorry.
Thank you very much. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. Every Caleb Williams passing yard, 1 yard, gets you a win every September or every weekend in September. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs. You had a comment.
Evangelist shaking his permed head over there. He's become like the Prize Picks
Birthday boy tomorrow.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
HBD.
He's become like the Prize Picks gatekeeper. Him and Katie, they're like the
and
gatekeepers.
Dawson too.
And Dawson. But no, I think Luke way more than Luke was like visibly shaken last week because how long it was taking me to get the Prize Picks in. Like he had just ascended the rank. I'm telling Lauren on you. Second, you haven't heard of Otani. Have you heard of Mudang?
Mudang, the little baby hippo.
Yeah. First things first, right?
I've heard of that.
But first, culture.
Mudanginger. Mudanginger is going to interview Prager here in a minute, so we got to wrap this up.
All right, let's do the Prize Picks. McKinley Polanski at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Start us off, please.
Yes. Number 24, Illinois, is traveling to number 22, Nebraska. They are playing at 7 p.m. today at Tom Osborne Field at Memorial Stadium. It will be streamed on Fox, and Nebraska is favored by 8.5 points.
I'll make it quick. Nebraska is covering this.
8.5. Are you sure you read that right?
That's what it says.
All right, I'm going to pick Nebraska too, and baby Mahomes to pull this one off.
Illinois beat the mighty Kansas Jayhawks, which nobody had them doing. But then Kansas went and lost.
Nobody circles the wagons.
But then Kansas went and lost at home to UNLV, the Running Rebels.
Who's not very bad, actually.
No, but
that's pretty good.
But it takes away a little bit of the Illinois
Hype machine?
Yeah, so I'm with you guys. I'm gonna go Nebraska. I think they've got a good thing going there, particularly at home. I think that is going to be a pretty raucous atmosphere after what they did to Colorado and old Graybeard. That's Deion.
Polanski.
Arkansas is traveling to Auburn. They are playing at 2:30 p.m. at Pat Dye Field at Jordan-Hare Stadium. It will be streamed on ESPN, and Auburn is favored by 3.5 points.
That's a hard pick.
It is tough.
You got Arkansas, who looked really good at times against Oak State on the road, and then looked really bad. And then they looked really bad for most of that game last week at home against UAB. Like they were down 17-3, if not 17-0.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly.
But Auburn, and they just changed quarterbacks last week, but they played a nobody. So it's like, did they fix their problem or not? Give me Arkansas to cover. I don't know who's going to win. If you're going to give me those points, I'll take Arkansas.
That's what I did.
I'm going to go Arkansas for the dub.
Wow.
I think they're going to win it outright.
Yeah, going Arkansas.
Really? We're going across the board Arkansas?
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Pick Auburn? I got burnt last week because y'all made fun of my pick on Oregon, killing Oregon State.
That was 2
I'm
weeks
sticking
ago.
with
and
Arkansas.
Yes, you should just trust your instincts, Seth.
Yeah, thank you.
Polanski.
Number 11, USC is traveling to
I'm moody today.
number 18, Michigan. They're playing at 2:30 p.m. at Michigan Stadium. It will be on CBS, and USC is favored by 6.5 points.
This is more emotion. I need this from USC. I need them to blow out Michigan, so I'm picking them to win it. And
Why, you think they're going to drop Texas from number one if Michigan loses?
No, I just
think a little
Newsflash, buddy.
I would love a little
buddy.
narrative
It's
shift.
over.
It's over.
That you can't
They're
pry
back.
that number one.
I'm
They're going to have to
well
lose
aware.
2 games before they're not number one with the hype train of Arch Manning.
Dude, did you see how bad they blew out that team, though?
They're not. Listen, I think Texas looks really good. They have played no one. And Michigan, and they shouldn't apologize for that because neither has Ole Miss. Neither have a lot of teams. But Michigan is bad. And I think it's a bad matchup against USC the same way it was Texas. If you're Michigan, you do not want to play against a team that can score because they can have Orgy, they can have whoever at quarterback, whoever that spare was that started against Texas. It doesn't matter, unless it's J.J. McCartney coming back. They're not going to get it done. They're not going to score enough points. I take USC in that one.
I'm USC also.
All right, Polanski.
Number 12, Utah is traveling to number 14, Oklahoma State. They are playing at 3 p.m. at Boone Pickens Stadium. It will be streamed on Fox, and Oklahoma State is favored by 2.5 points.
No, I'm going with Utah.
Okay. Billy?
I'm actually going to go Oklahoma State. I don't like picking against Kyle Whittingham in Utah. I really don't. But Cam Rising, I heard you this morning. It's like, I never know when the hell he's going to play, when he's not. Yeah. What he's got going on now is like a hand thing. I'm going to go Oak State at home.
If Cam was playing, would you keep that?
If Cam was playing and healthy and had been playing.
Yeah. I thought he is playing.
He is.
But he's not healthy.
But I'm going to go Oak State at home is typically can win a game. I'm going to pick them.
I'll take Oklahoma State as well. Cam Rising's got stitches in the ring finger. They said he's wearing a glove.
Yeah. It's all right.
Give me Oak State.
Lasky?
Number 6, Tennessee is traveling to number 15, Oklahoma. They're playing at 6:30 p.m. at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. It will be streamed on ABC, and Tennessee is favored by 7.5 points.
Not at the Palace on the Prairie. No, I'm picking Tennessee to cover this.
You know what? I'm taking Oklahoma.
You think a little pride's going to kick in? Because they've sucked.
So. I think
for being an undefeated team, they barely beat Tulane. They pulled away. They should have never beat. They should have lost to U of H.
Thank you, Zone. We'll see you on YouTube. Go ahead.
They should have lost to U of H. You see this highlighter, Steve? That's a Tennessee colored highlighter. Mm-hmm. It really looks like it when you put pen to paper. I'm going to go with Josh Heupel. He's going to roll in there. Heupel's going to roll in there and get revenge. Just like he said, you know what? A lot's changed since I left here.
I could see that.
I was a skinny little quarterback winning a title in a young OC. Now I'm up there in Knoxville enjoying all that food up there, and I'm going to come back. I've collected a ton of talent, and I'm going to come back and kick your ass.
Well, you know what?
And he's going to do it. I'm going Tennessee to cover.
I think Venables is going to tell freaking Heupel to get his freaking shine box. Is what I think.
Nice.
Okay. And I think Oklahoma at Norman is going to step it up. Now they may not win the game, but I think they'll keep it under 7.
I'm a Josh Heupel fan. I like him I think he comes off as being a good dude, and people at Tennessee will tell you as much. And as long as he's not playing A&M, I root for him. I'd like to see Tennessee be good. I love their environment up there in Knoxville. I want that more than I want to see OU. Mm-hmm. I don't actually hate OU. I really don't. I was hating them a lot more in the Stoops era. But I don't really root. I don't need to see them be any good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they're more of a recruiting, adversary of A&M. I don't know why, but I'll root for OU in a couple weeks when they play Texas. It ain't going to be this week. And I just think Tennessee. Part of me, Steve, wants to go with you though, because it's just too many signs point to Tennessee rolling in this one.
I know.
And it's a big spread to be at home, college game day. But I think Tennessee makes a statement.
But there's two games that everybody's picking USC and everybody's picking Tennessee
to blow them out.
Like everyone just believes those two teams are going to win, which should be a big red flag because usually that's when you get upsets.
Yeah, because generally we don't know what we're talking about, meaning the G-pop.
Yeah.
Last one, please, McKinley.
Bowling Green is traveling to number 25, Texas A&M. They're playing at 6:30 p.m. at Kyle Field. It will be streamed on ESPN Plus, and Texas A&M is favored by 22.5 points.
I'll go. I'm going to pick us to cover. I think we got this one in the bag.
Of course you are.
Of course I am.
That could be 100. A&M is favored by 9.
That's not true. I didn't do McNeese.
Oh, you didn't?
I was like, that's just too much to overcome.
And then
I think we got this.
They did backdoor cover the McNeese game with the field goal.
A great picker.
I'm actually going to pick A&M to not cover as well. I think that's
whoa, don't say it like I want the record straight. I picked to cover.
Let the record reflect.
Oh my God!
You said as well. I was like,
I'm picking A&M to not cover. I think they win like 21 points. I think maybe Bowling Green gets a late score. to cover or something like kind of what McNeese did.
I'm going to pick A&M to win and Bowling Green to cover. If you're going to give me 22 points for a team, it's not just that they played within 7 against Penn State might do the usual Penn State thing and not really be any good. But Bowling Green, I think, again, like I said, they've got a veteran QB, they've got an offense that scores, and they've got a veteran QB and offense that scores, and I think they're well coached with a ton of juniors and seniors. Those are the kind of MAC teams you don't want. You want to catch them next year when they're really young, and then you walk all over them. I think this team competes. I think A&M wins in the, 38-20 range. That type of score to me.
What did Neuheisel say about a MAC team? It's like it was like a rhyming saying about playing MAC teams. I can't remember, but it was. Google it.
Playing against the MAC, you better pack a sack. Lunch.
Something like that.
Don't expect brunch, because they will munch. I have a hunch that the show's over.
Play by the bay.
I'm
just
done.
may.
We're going to call it a day. We've got Ryan Prager coming in here.
Prager's coming in. I got to do my picks here.
Got to do picks. I got to do rewind.
Prize picks, Luke.
Thanks, everybody.
Prize picks.
Thank you.
Can you sign up for Prize Picks, please? Help a brother out.